Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk of the Tundra, your Green Bay Packers podcast that is a proud partner of the Gyro Step Podcast Network and the Blue Wire family. As always, I am your host, Numac, coming to you with the news of Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst's extension with the Packers, announced Saturday night via all of the beat reporters, essentially Tom Silverstein, Rob Dombrowski. Man, not mad in the papers, Rob Dombrowski. Don't put I was mad in the paper, please. Uh, so the brain trust continues as Ed Policy makes good on his promises of no lame duck years for either one of those individuals. Signs both of them to extensions. They were seen at Lodge Kohler, or not Lodge Kohler, the American Lodge, or whatever it's called, in Kohler at like whatever the Whistling
Hmm.
Straits resort is called.
You sure it's not Lodge Kohler?
I think Lodge Kohler is the one across from the street from Lambeau. If I'm not mistaken. That's the hotel.
Oh, okay, okay.
And as you might notice, that is not my lovely co-host Jordan Tresky. That is instead GSPN daddy Ti Windisch.
A
How you doing, buddy?
lot of daddies lately. I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk Packers. Rohan and I joked like anything but the Bucks, and I'm taking it seriously. I'm jumping over here.
That's right.
They're off all weekend. I get to watch a bunch of football. I wish I was watching the Packers again. We watched them last weekend. It was great for a while until it wasn't. But I will say, I mean, just a lot of great games and then the 49ers so far in these playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that wouldn't have been the Packers as well, seeing how that game ended up. But it was that
Yeah,
that was a slaughter.
yeah.
Josh
I
Allen
mean,
can't
listen,
get it
I
done
think
again. What a day in sports.
yeah, five giveaways for the Bills, and it still took overtime for the Broncos to beat them. Then Bo Nix gets hurt. I think the Packers could have fared a little better than the Niners.
Yeah,
They're not as banged up. I mean, they've lost obviously some crucial players, but the Niners lost a round of crucial players, then those guys backups, then another round of crucial players, and it's just like whoever's left standing. I mean, I saw it during that game. Obviously, Kittle went out for, I mean, season, maybe career with I forget it was an ACL or an
an
Achilles their last
Achilles.
game. And I see Tonjes just drop with a non-contact lower leg injury. And I'm like, these guys are actually cursed.
The It's very funny that the EMF conspiracy theory has
Dude,
like gained real
yeah.
traction in the mediascape. Like
Well,
I
the
got a
Niners are so depleted, like you're willing to overlook the pseudoscience.
I got a push notification from Apple News saying that that the 49ers are one of the most injured teams in recent memory, and this online conspiracy is to blame. I was like, I was like, it's gotten
Wow.
mainstream traction.
The,
Oh no.
the Bluetooth made their tendons jello. What can you say?
Chuck from Better Call Saul was right all this time.
Yeah.
So enough about the NFL. Let's talk about some extensions.
Yeah.
Let's start with the head coach Matt LaFleur. Easily the most, I guess, fiery topic that Packers Twitter has had in recent memory. Besides, I mean, like, there's a unification around firing Rich Bisaccia, and there's always
Yeah.
talks about that. I don't think we've seen something as decisive or divisive rather from the fan base on if Matt LaFleur should be fired or not, and since like should they trade Aaron Rodgers. And before that, I can't even fathom what it was.
Or
Probably
should they have picked Love?
right, something like that, maybe.
I think that was a pretty good one because it was going to be an amorphous answer because we weren't going to know for a while either
Believe it or
way.
not, also an amorphous answer from Matt LaFleur. It's weird how these
Yeah.
how these things
Yeah.
work. So, Matt LaFleur, 76-40 in his 7 years as Packers head
Pretty good.
coach. Pretty good. Only one losing season. That was the 2022
Dude,
season.
so close. I was looking back. He could have had his own Tomlin thing going.
Yep,
So close.
so
Eight and
close.
nine. Uh,
So, uh, like I said, 76-40 and 1 with a win-loss percentage of 6.54. 3-6 in the playoffs, which is where the rub comes in. Um, I guess first and foremost, I'm prefacing this entire LaFleur discussion in that I think I've said that probably before. The nuance around keeping or firing Matt LaFleur is so nuanced. Like I wish it were as cut and dry as people want it to make, but it solely isn't because I think it was either Rob Dombrowski or some Packers beat reporter said a source from the NFL said the Packers are a smart organization. They don't do dumb things, and firing Matt LaFleur would be dumb because like he's had success. He would have been the most sought after head coach in the cycle had he been fired. And the Packers were in a position, I've said this before as well, that there isn't a better head coach out there than him right now. Like, not this cycle. You could have taken a chance on either of the Rams guys or any of like the really young assistants that are getting some looks. But keeping Matt LaFleur ultimately probably is the right choice, even though, as we'll get into in a minute, the week to week results and how the team looks may not change and will still be very frustrating throughout the season.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, and this is the unknowable part of trying to analyze this. Obviously, as part of the extension, LaFleur is talking to policy and whoever other decision makers there are about presumably like what's the vision going forward, right? Like why sign this extension? And to me, I've been a LaFleur detractor, but ultimately, and it's funny because I'll post something like another horrible gaffe. Like it's weird how these keep happening to Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
And people reply with like, why do you want him fired? I'm like, I never said that. I'm just pointing out that this happens to him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't fire him though, because to your point, I I'm doing my ageism thing on coaches and rosters. And like, listen, John Harbaugh accomplished a lot. That's great. I would certainly rather have LaFleur than Harbaugh because it's like the whole offensive mind versus CEO thing. Like, do I think the Giants will be better than they have been? Yeah, probably. Although Dable was a pretty good offensive mind himself. But I think the offensive mind part of it is very important because we've seen even good quarterbacks really struggle when they have a different offensive coordinator every year. Even if they're maybe like good one year, but then that guy gets poached. That can't happen when your head coach is the offensive mind and play caller. And I do think it's not a coincidence the Packers win a lot of games every year. The 49ers win a lot of games most years. The Rams win a lot of games every year. That consistency is really important. And all of those guys have that trait versus some of the defensive minded coaches, it can be such an upheaval. Like, do I think the Texans are going to obviously going farther in the playoffs and whatever? They look really good. And D'Amico Ryans is really good. I'm not saying they'd be better or worse, but I know CJ Stroud would look a hell of a lot better if he had just had Matt LaFleur this whole time versus, Bobby Slowick and whoever else and this revolving door of coordinators. I think there is a lot of value in that. But I think the conversations that were being had, here's what I need to see now that this part is done. What's the plan at special teams? Because your best buddy Rich B has got to go. Both of the last Bears losses, you can talk about LaFleur turtling up and whatever else. If you field an onside kick, and if you make what, one, two of the several missed kicks by your kicker, who you tried out another kicker who was better and still went with this kicker, even though he kind of looked hurt and he ended up being horrible when you needed him the absolute most of the season, that's why you lost those games. All the turtling up stuff wouldn't matter if your special teams performed at an average level, and
Mm-hmm.
it never does. And then defensively, obviously, I'm not saying fire Halfley, but you probably are going to have to replace him. He's gotten what, four head coaching interviews now? I mean,
He said
it's not a
at least that, and he has a second interview with Miami
Miami.
on Monday.
And Miami just hired the Packers executive to run their team,
Yep,
so
John
some
Eric Sullivan.
familiarity there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there. I'm pretty much reserving as Halfley's going to Miami Monday afternoon.
yeah,
He has his
yeah.
interview, his second interview with Miami on Monday, and I'm sure they'll offer him a job on the spot.
I think so. It's not, to your point earlier with LaFleur, it's not a good class
Right.
unless you really like Tomlin and Harbaugh. The rest of the guys are just kind of
Well,
okay or still in the
even
playoffs.
Tomlin's not going to be coaching again.
Yeah, it's and oh yeah, because you'd have to trade
Did
for
the
him.
trade for him, and I think someone I forget who where I saw it, but some reputable NFL reporter said that the understanding from the Steelers organization is that Mike Tomlin will not be coaching in the near future. Like I think
Yeah.
he's retiring,
Well, I mean, I'm sure they'll try to drag him out
or
next
doing the
year.
Sean Payton thing where he takes a couple years
Doing
off.
the media for a year.
Yeah.
Well, then I wonder,
Yes.
do they keep the rights still? Because
Yep.
yeah, that's what happened with Peyton, right?
Yep.
Kind of a racket.
It is a racket.
Here's my conspiracy theory on this real quick. I think the Steelers won't let it go just to make sure he doesn't go to Baltimore. Because would that not be the perfect job for him if you put aside the division stuff?
I mean,
Like
did you
he's like,
see?
I can never find the quarterback. It's just I can do everything else. Now you have a quarterback who is an instant impact run game, and Tomlin loves to run the ball. Like that job, if you put aside the other stuff, would be perfect for him.
Did you see the comments from Steve Biscotti?
No,
I think you did, but the from
the Ravens owner.
yeah, from about Jim Harbaugh being or John Harbaugh being coach of the Ravens had to
Oh yeah, it'd be one more week
yeah,
if they had won.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he was fired regardless. But
yeah.
in that same press conference, they asked like, would uh I think it was like, would John Harbaugh coach like the Steelers? You go like that'd be funny, wouldn't it? We hire Mike Tomlin. Like it was something around those lines. Like
Yeah.
they'd really only hire Mike Tomlin if the Steelers hired John Harbaugh.
He at least mentioned, I think it'd be good for both. Whatever. It's not happening.
Yeah,
So I think the
either which
Steelers would be
way.
like, great, great. We'll trade him to you. We'll take all of your next three drafts,
Right.
every single pick.
Exactly.
Um, or you don't get him.
Yeah. But like
But anyway, so LaFleur, I think, is good at the offense part. He nailed the defensive hire last time. Before that, not so much. He's got to get better at the CEO part of the job. And that means having a vision for this huge cycle, even though it's not a head coach or GM cycle for the Packers,
yeah.
a massive cycle, because clearly he has not gotten enough historically out of either of the coordinators, but especially this past year, special teams. Again, defense was really good, but now he was so good he's probably gone. So you're gonna have to do that one again. I need to hear a great plan there. I mean, I don't need to hear it, but if I'm Ed Policy, I need to hear it
I need to see
because
one as a fan.
that's yeah, and yeah, you need to see it play out over the next weeks or whatever, because that's clearly what's held him back. Like he's been able to perform offensively with Malik Willis, no disrespect to him. That's a huge asset. That's very valuable as your head coach. But the other stuff has clearly been bad enough to hold them back from winning at the highest level.
I think part of it for me is like I'm convinced the offense works, but I'm
Yeah,
not I get annoyed with how he gets there almost all the time.
yeah,
Like it shouldn't be an issue that we're wondering where the hell Matthew Golden is for 17 games out of the season. And then
yeah.
through injuries and everything else in the playoff game, he gets a chance and he looks really good. Like,
I told my buddy Shu, I still don't think we would have seen him if Savion was healthy.
probably not.
They were even giving Savion snaps over him for some reason,
And
which
I,
I don't understand.
and I think like it's not entirely a Matt LaFleur issue. It's partially a Jordan Love issue as well because I think Matthew Golden had um, I think the second highest snap count for wide receivers this year. Um,
Wow,
if I'm not
wouldn't have guessed that.
I mean, I'll kind of peruse the roster quick as I talk,
Well, I guess
but
it would make sense. I mean, Watson's out all the time. Reed missed a ton of
well,
time. Like
that's the thing
it
too
may
is
have been
that
kind of
like
by default. Yeah.
right, and so the part of it for me is like, okay, if he's getting that many snaps and is getting on the field, why aren't plays being designed for him?
Yeah. He
Is
was, yeah, I feel like he was probably the third option on a lot of those snaps.
right, but like you see it week in and week out of guys posting Matthew Golden routes and he's wide open. And so like
Right.
why isn't he the first read on that play? Why is it
Right.
going other places? And maybe that's just something that was a familiarity issue with Jordan Love. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think I've said it long on this pod, but it came back to Christian Watson. Like they have to stop using these talented route running receivers as gadget guys behind the line of scrimmage. Like it
Yeah.
was the first 2 3 years of Christian Watson's career where they kept using him on jet sweeps and end arounds. Like that's not who he is, and we've seen that. Like this year, they stopped using him that way, and he had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
If we
Well,
maybe just maybe Ty, if they
yeah.
use Matthew Golden in the same way they use Christian Watson, he might have a better year next year. But who am I to say?
I hope that the playoff game wasn't just an aberration and that it was a sign of where the offense is going to go, because it did feel like finally LaFleur was like, you know what, Love, like just go spin it. And he spun it all over the place. And a bunch of receivers were involved. Golden had probably his best game of his career thus far, and everything looked really good. I mean, obviously, again, the second half not so much, but still, like they scored, they had the big lead. It deteriorated, and the issue, of course, is how do we stop it from deteriorating? Which I think a lot of that is going to be the Goody convo as well. Um, but I think the takeaway from that game, if you're designing the Packers offense, should be let's just let Jordan Love spin it to our five B tier receivers all the time, and maybe then we'll be able to win more playoff games.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Like this team really does love to run the football, and like that's all fine and well. But when you're playing, I'm sorry, when you're paying your quarterback the amount of money that they're paying him, the ball
Yep.
should run through him. But like,
Yep.
and to not to his credit or his detriment, but like Rodgers wasn't going to be denied throwing the football. Like that just wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
He'd audible the play at the call at the line to make sure that he could throw the football.
Yep.
Um, I don't think Jordan Love would do that per se, but in my mind, that's what we need that they need to do. Like the offense looked so good against the Bears in the first half when Love was spinning it. Like Josh Jacobs had a lot of runs and he was looking really good in the first half, but um but in general, it was Love passing the ball. That's where the three touchdowns came from. And so it was
Yeah.
just an interesting way for the like that to go. And I mean, we've talked about it too. Like Matt LaFleur in the CEO role, like what he needs to do for the team wide, isn't good. He's very bad at
Yeah.
challenges. He's very bad at clock management.
The timeouts, the time,
I know the
take a
timeouts
class,
irk you a lot.
take a class, take a webinar, Matt
What
LaFleur.
what's
It's
that? What's that
ridiculous.
service called? Uh the one where they talk to like Gordon Ramsay and other people.
Masterclass.
Take a
Yeah.
master class on how to call timeouts.
Well, I know you told me like he does the thing where he really waits to get the play in to see what the defense is doing to get an advantage there. Again, this is another area where maybe you just need to trust Jordan Love more and
Yeah.
give him some options that he can audible to at the line because it hurts them all the time in almost every close game because they do this. They don't get the play in time. Even after timeouts once, they took a delay of game after a
After a
timeout
timeout in
in
the
that
playoff
playoff
game.
game,
Yeah.
which you just can never, ever, ever happen.
No.
And they drive down the field with a chance to win the game. And did the Bears defender like swat down the ball at the end?
I think
I
so.
really thought he caught it, but every stat everywhere says like no picks for Jordan Love. I was like, well,
Yeah.
he really did throw one, but
Right.
whatever. Um, if they had had that timeout, would they had like a clock runoff they could have avoided? Like they would have
Yeah.
gotten
They
at least one more shot, at least one more. And that's just looking at that one, which again should never happen. They also wasted other timeouts in that game as well. You need to be at the line faster.
yeah.
That's my biggest criticism of the offense. The golden stuff, I get it. I'd like him to be used more. They were still a really productive offense. All the Jordan Love EPA stats are great. Like it
Mm-hmm.
didn't truly hold them back. And maybe in year two there'll be more familiarity, everything else, whatever. For me, it's like how can we not be organized enough in year what is
Right.
it 7 with Matt LaFleur and
This will be 8.
8? Well, this past year
This
was
past year
7
was
or,
7.
or
Yeah.
8.
No, this past year was
And
7. 26
and
is 8.
Jordan's what, third year starter?
This year, yes.
So how are we not on the same page to get the plays in? Like that to me is more
Yeah.
unforgivable of you're losing valuable opportunities at the end of games by doing this.
Uh
That drives me crazy.
I'm not sure if you saw this in in our Packers Discord. If you're not in there, go to the GSP.info in the about section. There's a Discord link. You can join there and talk all things Packers, Brewers, Bucks, and everything else we ramble on about. But Tyler Dunn, I believe is how you pronounce it, had a article
Yeah.
for his Substack Go Long, um, talking about the headline was Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers, and the art of a choke. I don't pay to read it, but someone posted an excerpt of it that I think really shines some light on your point of why isn't the play coming in earlier. And so this next minute of me talking is from Tyler Dunn. I'll obviously say when I'm done, but they had the plays, they had the players. What the Green Bay Packers lacked last season was a head coach who genuinely believed in them. Lack of decisiveness frankly pissed off some stars on offense. They could tell when Matt LaFleur was unsure of his play call. Quote, sometimes, end quote, one player in the 2024 huddle told to go along. Matt would get afraid. This player recalls waiting and waiting and waiting for Jordan Love to receive word from LaFleur on the headset. That play call often left many perplexed too. On critical third downs or critical games, the player explains LaFleur would, quote, freeze up. Absolute bangers perfected during the week of practice never saw the light of day, end quote, or end my excerpt. And so, like,
Yeah.
part of that for me is like, this is where the rub comes in with the extension and the decision to not move on, is that he doesn't have the confidence needed to go out and win, like, and win games, not lose games. Like the
That damn Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl, and that's where I was getting to, is that like it wasn't him, but he was the quarterbacks coach for the Falcons in the 28-3
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Falcons Patriots, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
28-3.
Kyle Shanahan coached for.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator with, I believe, Dan Quinn as the head coach.
Yeah.
And they blew that game because they weren't coaching to win the game. They weren't coaching to score points. They were coaching to run out the clock. And I think that's really emblematic of how Matt LaFleur coaches games. Like, I think if you wanted to make Matt LaFleur the perfect coach, you just take the aggressive part of Dan Campbell's coaching style and just plop it into Matt LaFleur's head, and you have like probably one of the best coaches of all time,
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. But even then, but
Ben
like
Johnson's literally stupidly too aggressive, but it just works because like
it works
we have
because
offensive weapons, we have a great scheme. Like
yep.
we'll score a lot of points even if we mess up on fourth down sometimes.
And even then, like Ben Johnson style of coaching is only limited by the players. And
Well, I mean, he does some stupid. I mean,
sure, they do some stupid stuff going on fourth down in the first quarter in their own side
yeah,
on their own
and
side of the
like
field is probably not
I
a good
also think
idea. But like,
he just has a fetish for watching players besides his quarterbacks throw the football that I'll never understand. But
agreed.
the point stands.
The
The point. I mean, they look how many games they won.
Right, exactly. And I think it's not dissimilar from the fact that like even the Lions, even though they were injured a lot this year, they lost Sam Laporta, which is a big part of their offense and such, and just took a step back after losing both coordinators. Is like they also were pretty good this year. Like they had
Yeah,
if a couple bounces go their way, like there's a chance they could have been the seventh seed. Same with the Vikings, honestly. Like they were um, a game out of being the seventh seed.
that's it's three really good offensive minds in the division, and then Campbell, who's just aggressive, and
Right,
they've been pretty good at hiring coordinators.
right. And so for me, like he just needs to get the monkey off of his back when it comes to just going out and winning games. I'm not sure how you fix the team prep issue. Like that's a player thing. Like you can coach them all you want. The players need to be more focused, which then comes back to the coach. Like why are we having so many um before like pre-snap penalties? Why are we having multiple illegal formation penalties? Like that is a coaching issue. The false starts, they happen. Like that just it's part of the game. But it's the egregious like lining up issues, two more offensive like ineligible man downfield things. Like that's another thing that this kept to like keep an eye out for, and is frustrating when they happen. But if they can get in, like if LaFleur can find somebody, whether that's the Rich Bisaccia replacement or whoever they hire to like handle the snap to snap stuff behind LaFleur on the bench, they need to find someone to get these guys to lock in. Because
Yeah,
like what I think
Big Mike,
I mean, right?
Big Mike, offensive quality control would be actually elite.
But like LaFleur said it, I think a lot of the players said it that like it wasn't LaFleur. Like they didn't say it was LaFleur's fault that they lost. They said it was an execution issue, which like I am half inclined to agree. Like LaFleur didn't coach a fantastic game in the second half for sure, but like when I see Rashawn Gary taking a leisurely jog to tackle Caleb Williams,
No, no.
that's an issue. That's like that is a effort and focus issue on the part of Rashawn Gary, and so it's just like I said, it's so nuanced that it comes back around to you can't pin the bad losses all on the floor because like even in the Browns game, miss kicks. They win that game
Yeah,
if they make kicks. It's like
Oh, didn't Love had a pretty tough pick in that game, I want to say.
He had an interception, but it was a really good read by the defense. Like it was
Yeah, but I just mean like that's one of the
they were in like on like their 15-yard line.
yeah, yeah. So that plays like that too. I mean, that's
Yep.
just a huge win probability swing. I think the other thing too that honestly probably is not talked about enough, and you can say it's boring or a cop out or whatever. I mean, they Packers were down their best overall player, obviously, and
Yeah.
Michael Parsons. They were also down their second best defensive lineman alongside Parsons, which clearly gives you a huge gap there.
Uh-huh.
They were they were down any good cornerbacks because they never had any, which we'll talk about with Goody, but that is problematic. Their best pass catcher, I think by far.
Yeah.
Um, th-
The best
and
yak
then
the best yak guy.
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
I think their best pass catcher. And how many receivers? Like Wicks was
Wicks
out.
was out. Um Melton was on IR, which doesn't really count, but he was.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
So a receiver, whatever. So, but still, like some pretty important players. And the line was Jenkins out again,
Jenkins was out. Yes, he was on IR since like the middle of the
which
season.
you kind of have to expect. But
Yeah.
pretty significant losses in almost every phase of the game. That again, they were still right there, but again, I don't want to do the whole excuse thing or whatever. But even just dropping Parsons alone in, like I think they win the game because he just destroys Caleb in one of those drives, and that ends it.
Yep.
And they obviously just couldn't get that pressure regularly without him. Halfley tried his best; they schemed some up, but that's a huge thing as well. Like they were still right there despite losing their best player, and I mean maybe the best player in their division. Like God, Micah Parsons is good,
He's
dude.
very good. And I think like yeah, like I honestly had forgotten that that's part of the conversation too, but it really is. Like and I've I've made this talk and discussion with people at work and people in the Discord and whoever will listen to me basically trauma dump is that
Yeah,
you can't at some point the talent disparity just matters. Like you said,
yeah,
Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft, Devontae Wyatt, even like their backups on the line, like Jordan Riley, who played well in
yeah,
his one game that he was like playing, like he wasn't there. Um, like there's just so many injuries to this team that at some point something's got to give, especially when and the biggest one in the game was Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper gets
yeah,
hurt in the Bears game, and I saw that like the Bears offensive success rate like doubled after he went out. Like
yeah.
he's
I
an
believe it.
impact player. He was all over he had his thumb all over that game.
Yeah,
And
especially I mean the pass game and the run game. I mean they did such a good job bottling him up early,
right.
and we know even though they're down, they still love to run.
Yep. And
That's the thing. Like if McManus hits two kicks, I think the story coming out of that game is, can you believe the Packers beat the Bears on the road without list of players? And the Bears, I mean, I know they've had some defensive injuries. DJ Moore, I think, got hurt in the game but played through it. But
he
otherwise,
did.
they had a lot of their team.
They lost
Um, yeah,
Tremont
they lost Tremaine
Edwards. Yeah.
Edwards. The second is their second best Edwards linebacker, right? Because they also have
They lost the better one.
JJ. Oh, they lost the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. But that was tough. And I know they've had secondary issues all year. Although I think they actually kind of got healthy before that game.
They were healthy,
But I
but
think
they
they
just
were
been
still
bad.
down a couple. Yeah.
Like at one point in the second half, as the game was winding down, they were just throwing at Jaquan Brisker. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why that wasn't the plan the entire second half, but
Right.
at some point George was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna throw at Jaquan Brisker because he's the worst guy in the field," and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, enough, but to where they
Yeah. Yeah.
got down the field and had a chance to win, and then didn't obviously.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like the ultimately like I land on keeping Matt LaFleur is good for winning. It's going to be a discussion, like honestly, for however long Matt LaFleur is the head coach until he wins the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, essentially, which is again very hard to do. It's really really hard, and so it it all depends on like if they just look good. I can stomach losing playoff games like after the fact, not in the moment, but obviously, but like after the fact, if they looked good. Like if they played their best game and the other team just made more plays, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
it's the games where you have a 18-point lead, where it's the games where you have 5 turnovers like the Bills did yesterday, that really
Yep.
sting, and you're wondering like what the hell happened. Like this team should be playing this weekend and such. But if they look good, I think it's fine. The problem isn't where the rub is with Matt LaFleur is that oftentimes when they lose these close games that they don't look good, and you're often wondering like, again, you and Jordan laughed at me at the beginning of the season when I said there's a real chance they could go. No, it was last season. There's a real chance they could have went undefeated because like
Oh yeah.
they had a chance to win all those
Well,
games. I was not as high on them this year prior to Micah Parsons being traded. I mean, even when the schedule released, I was like, are they gonna win 9 games?
yeah.
Sure enough, they do. But like up before Micah Parsons got hurt and they ended the season with 6 straight losses or 7 straight or 5 straight losses.
Yeah.
Like the regular season games that they lost, they should not have lost. They should not have lost to the Browns. They should not have lost to the Eagles or the Panthers.
Panthers, yeah.
Like this team just should have
Well,
had
yeah,
a lot better
they
record than they did, but ultimately they just got hurt.
before that injury, they lost by 3 points. That was what they lost by every single time.
Yeah,
13-10 Browns, 16-13 Panthers, 10-7 Eagles, and then obviously 40-40 tie against the Cowboys.
right.
And then Parsons gets hurt in Denver when the Packers are winning. They lose by 8. They lose by 6 to the Bears. This is the other part of it where it looks extra bad. How do you let them do that to you twice in a month? That's pretty brutal.
Right.
By a ton to the Ravens and then 16-3 to the Vikings, but no one was playing.
Right. So, like I think this team is in a good spot for next year. It just really comes down to can they get out of their own way? Can Matt LaFleur basically like buck up and
Yeah.
become the coach that he needs to be to lead this team to a deep playoff run? Because they have the
Spend some time with
players.
Sean McVay. Just go hang out with him and try to learn how to just be ballsy. That's why McVay's the best one because he didn't suffer the 28-3.
He's not good at at clock management either. He had to go through his own issues with it.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, coaches do get better
It
and stuff too.
it
Do
is
you think Mike
crazy that
McDaniel would be better?
as a head coach,
Yeah.
no.
I think he gets a lot of crap. I think he was tied to the wrong quarterback, and their
I think
defense
he was
was
also
really
tied to the
bereft
wrong
of talent.
quarterback. I hate how that team played every time the weather dropped below 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Like I just it happened too many times for it to be a coincidence.
No, I agree with that.
And so I'd love Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sick
Yeah.
of Steno
That's not going to happen.
existing.
But yeah.
But I mean that's part of the discussion too, is um Justice Mosqueda of Acme Packing Company wrote an article this week. If you haven't read it, you should go read it. Titled The Green Bay Packers coaching staff severely lacks outside experience. And basically what it comes down to is that the Packers as an organization do not spend on assistants. They always
Mhm.
hire internally. And so what it comes down to is that um he Mosqueda split this um into two sections. Basically coaches and assistants. So, let me see here. This one is on the field coaches. So basically coordinators or true positional assistants, sense like defensive line coach,
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. The Packers sit at years of experience outside their current teams at 47 years amongst all of their coaches. That is good for dead last amongst playoff teams.
Yeah.
Um, the Seahawks lead that category with 129, Panthers 125, Bears 121.
Interesting. All three of those young coaches too. So
Yep.
they are, I think, smartly
Surrounding
like
themselves with
building
experience.
up, yeah, the experience, like the
Right.
institutional knowledge around the, I mean, what, second year, first year head coach? Is this
Uh,
2 or 3 for Canales? I know
three.
Seahawks and Bears are both one. So
Three. This will,
third year, first year.
I think so. Yeah, whatever.
Whichever. I mean,
Doesn't
still
matter.
three of the newest coaches,
Right.
2 first year coaches.
And then the other split is the assistants, all the people that like that are under the true coaches. The Packers have
What is it
20.
like passing quality control or whatever, those kind of weird jobs?
Yeah,
Okay.
Justice Mosqueda called them the people who get the coach's coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
But 21 years for the Packers. Uh, Less than half of the next closest team, which are the Eagles and the Steelers, with 48 years of experience. Seahawks, Bears, and Panthers and Bears still leading the way with this at 119, 117, and 97.
So
And
three division winners on the top. And I guess did the Steelers win their division? I
it
guess they
did.
also
They did.
did. But then they got immediately smoked and the coach stepped down.
Right.
And who was the other team at the bottom with the Packers?
At this category, it was Packers, Steelers, Eagles, worst, second worst, third
Eagles,
worst.
another a coaching staff where the head coach lived by firing everyone else in the building.
Right. Or losing
So,
everyone else, too. Like,
but this past year
this
it
will be the fifth
was,
coordinator, the fifth offensive coordinator in 5 years for the Eagles.
yeah, they're on this hilarious. We can't get into the Eagles now.
No,
We
we
don't have
can't.
time, but they're
But
hilarious.
the point being is that they need more like knowledge and experience around Matt LaFleur to do this. Like if they
Yeah,
fire Rich Bisaccia, that number is going to go way down
yeah.
in that first category.
Well, and Halfley leaving too, right? He was other
But
places.
he didn't have outside NFL experience.
Really?
He was a DB's coach at Ohio
Oh, was he
State
in
for the longest
college?
time. Yeah, at Ohio State
Uh,
for the longest time. He might have been somewhere
uh,
in
Tampa Bay Bucks
for how
2 years,
long?
2 years. Browns 2 years. Niners 3 years.
Okay, and then was
So he
yeah.
is. I mean, what does that add up to? Like
When was
seven
that? When
years?
was that?
2012 through 2018, he was a
Okay,
D-backs coach or assistant D-backs coach.
and
So
then yeah, went to what?
7 years gone,
Yeah,
which is not nothing with how little they already have. And then yeah, Rich B's
no,
been all over the place, right?
right. And so like my thing is that I'd like to see them like bring in people with experience. Like Bill Callahan as an offensive line coach would be fantastic. Brian Callahan's dad,
Yep.
the old Tennessee head coach. But like, they need to fire Luke Butkus. Like, it always bothered me that they hired a son of
Yeah,
a
no wonder they
Bears
keep
legend.
losing. Yeah.
Yeah, son of a Bears legend to be their offensive line coach. Like that's just hiring the spy to be in your organization, knowing
Yeah, it'd
he's
be
a
like if
spy.
the Bears hired the Lombardi kid. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
So like, and also it's just been bad since he took over for
Yeah.
Stenovich, who got promoted. I'm honestly fine seeing Steno go too. Like, get an
I
offensive
think,
coordinator
yeah.
in there that jives with Matt LaFleur, and they can have a shared vision. Like Mike McDaniel would be great, frankly, and get a guy that will actually like get these guys to focus and run plays at a plus and just overall play better.
I mean,
Uh
Stenavich is, yeah, 2 years outside of Green Bay in the NFL.
yeah,
So not a ton.
I'm so good on Adam Stenovich. I would rather him either go back to being the offensive line coach or just not be with the program anymore.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I mean,
all
I don't think McDaniel will take that job, by the way.
I don't think he
If
will
he
either.
doesn't get a head coaching job, I think he'll take a play calling coordinator job,
Yeah.
which is how you get a head coach. But I mean, someone from the building, though. I mean, someone who he's worked with, like to get some new ideas in. Obviously, the Dolphins' whole staff is gone.
Right.
And the Giants staff, like Dable or one of those people. Like Dable was a really
I
good
would love
play caller
Dable.
too when he was with Buffalo. Buffalo, he's not as hot of a name. I think he may get a real calling coordinator job too. But even if it's someone under those guys, like
I don't think
bring
Dable will
in
get a.
someone with some fresh ideas.
I
Dable,
agree.
I mean, there's a lot of coordinators. I mean, what, nine
There's a
head
lot of
coaches being
there's a
hired? I
lot
mean,
of coordinators, but I don't think Dable's tenure in the with the Giants is exactly to be desired.
it's what is there going to be, nine jobs, not counting his though?
Oh no, no,
Eagles and
no! I
then
know.
all the fully vacant ones.
It
I
just
mean, not every team can hire Mike McDaniel. They may all want to, but
yeah. Either which way, like they just need
yeah,
to
yeah,
give some more like institutional knowledge and like league knowledge around Matt LaFleur
yeah,
to to round out the staff essentially.
yeah,
Very quickly before we move on to Brian Gutekunst, um, with Halfley almost certainly being hired in Miami, um, Brian Flores, Raheem Morris, both like top my list of defensive
yeah,
coordinators I would like to hire for this team. Like Brian Flores with Edgerrin Cooper and Michael Parsons sounds like a wonderful time to watch every Sunday for me.
yeah. I would love
Um,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, weird if people don't know. I didn't know this before it was reported this week. he's just like
He's a
expiring
he's a
from the
free agent.
Vikings, and they haven't gotten that done yet. So
Crazy,
it would
by
be
the
a
way.
double win too to take him from Minnesota because
Yeah.
frankly, he's the only thing that kept them respectable this year.
That
Obviously, the offense with nine was not it.
that pipeline can finally be reversed for once and for all.
Yeah, he's
all
number one.
all the
Raheem
years
Morris is
of
good too.
yeah, all the years of Packers players going to the Vikings, sticking to the Packers. I would like that to be.
Yeah, I've got another name for you there too. Gannon, I think would be good.
I think again
He's
would
a
be good as
defensive
well.
guy, right?
Yep.
And obviously, the Cardinals. A lot going on with the Cardinals. I wouldn't put it all on him. And again, even if it was all on him, you're not asking him to be the coach,
Yeah.
the head coach. Doesn't have to be the CEO. I think he can coach a defense. I don't think he's a free agent. Salah would obviously be great too, but I don't think he's up.
Yeah. Um. 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 I was gonna say something on. Oh, Raheem Morris from the same tree as uh LaFleur. I think like
Yeah,
they're all friends.
yeah.
McVay, Shanahan, Morris, LaFleur, all those guys.
He'd be good to have in the building for a lot. He might actually be the best one. I don't think he's the best defensive coach of the guys we've mentioned. I think Flores is. But he's coached on both sides of the ball. He's got multiple head coaching stops. I mean, you talk about bringing in external years. He's probably bringing what, like 20? I
Yeah.
mean,
Plus
a
former
guy who's
player.
been all over the place. Yeah, and just
That's something
like
I
not only in the Shanahan tree. He's kind of been all over the place, working with a lot of different people for a long time.
yeah.
That I think would be really good for their building to bring in someone like that.
Yeah. I also don't think it's not nothing that they don't have like any former players on like as like high guys on their
Yeah.
staff. Like Sean Mannion is like their main guy.
Steno.
Steno played NFL football.
4 practice squad or off-season stints only. So kind of.
I mean, like,
He
yeah,
played for
he,
the Amsterdam Ambrels on behalf of the Packers.
yeah. So yeah, he never played a game.
Dude, tough scene. He signed with the Cowboys. They cut him to let Larry Allen re-sign and retire a Cowboy. He got cut for a guy to retire there.
But like, you look at
I don't know if he ever played a snap.
I don't think he did. But like, you look at Raheem Morris, who, in his playing career, did this is why I want the playing career of Raheem Morris. He played, didn't he? Or am I lost?
I don't know.
I could have swore Raheem Morris played, but no, he has a long history of coaching. Never mind, I guess he didn't play. My apologies, but
That's Steno. He has nothing on Steno.
he has nothing on Steno. Maybe I'm thinking of D'Amico Ryans, who obviously played. But
Yeah.
either which way, a voice would be good. And I think Raheem Morris is that. I guess
Yeah.
a guy with head coaching experience.
Yeah. And just external experience all over the place.
Yep, all over the place. God, he's been
I
around
agree.
forever. So,
Yes, that's good in this case.
uh, 45 minutes on Matt LaFleur. Let's talk about Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they they sign him to an extension. Um, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Matt LaFleur's extension was not a prove it deal. It's a multi-year contract extension.
I
So
assume this is too.
I would say, yeah, I'd imagine. It would not surprise me, though. We'll never know because that's just how
Yeah,
front
yeah.
office
Executive
contracts,
stuff. Yeah.
right? Is that I imagine they're the same terms, same way they did it this year. Like,
You don't find out until it's like,
oh,
oh, we need to either extend or fire this guy now. Like that's when you find out when the deal
yep,
is up, when it's like actively about to be up.
right. And so I'd imagine the same way of this way, the same way for this for Goody's contract. Um, Worth noting as well that Jason Wilde reported that the Packers are going to keep the current structure in place, where Goody and LaFleur report to that policy. And so this one is a little more. I was team. Maybe we fire Brian Gutekunst, like just maybe.
Oh, I wasn't. So this is a good debate.
So way back when, for you listeners, when we had a little premium Substack page,
Mm.
GSPN After Dark and such, I made a an Excel spreadsheet of all of Matt or Brian Gutekunst's picks and I split them into 5 categories. Uh fun names I gave them, going from all pro to cut before the rookie deal finished, was cream of the crop. Hilarious. I just have funny name for the second tier because I couldn't think of one. Your local small business sponsor, remember him, and off my team.
So I'm
All
gonna guess
all
because I looked through it.
Yeah, the first one is all pro or future all pro.
Yep.
That Brian Gutekunst is drafted. Do you want to guess the 4 players I put in there? This is not including the 2025
5.
draft.
The
Sorry,
4
no,
is in.
no, 4 is not in. So
Oh. Oh.
no, or I'm sorry, 4 is in, but not all of them are placed.
Okay.
So like for
That's
example,
helpful. Do you do it like before the year?
this was
I'm trying to
before
figure
the
out if I should
year.
say Evan Williams or not. Okay, so I won't say Evan Williams.
Evan Williams, I think, is on the sheet, but I can't find him at the moment. Either which way, go ahead. But
So
like
one
Edrin
more
Cooper is
clarification
placed.
question. Cooper, is it like when you made this, or is it or is it as the pick? Basically, what do I
No,
do with Jair is the question. Like, is Jair in the top tier? Because he did
he
make.
is because he
Okay.
drafted him.
Okay. So it's okay.
It
Okay. I didn't know if it
it's
was like at the
it's
time
guys
of
at
you
their
making
peak.
it.
No, it's
Okay.
guys
Okay.
at their peak. Like
So Jair, Musgrave. Oh, no, sorry. Kraft, not Musgrave.
uh,
Kraft.
this was Kraft pre breakout. I had Kraft as a Pro Bowler, future Pro Bowler. So he's
Did you put Quay in there?
I did not.
Watson.
Nope.
Oh, Zach Tom.
Yep.
And then Jenkins.
Yep.
So that's 3 out of the 4. And then Love.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Tom, Love, Jenkins, and Jair. Um, this is again pre last season.
Yep.
Um, Second tier was Edrin Cooper, Tucker Kraft, Rashawn Gary, and Jaden Reed.
I think now you could probably add Bullard and Williams at least there.
You could, I think, like that's fine.
Yep.
Um, but like Devontae White could be there now.
I'd probably put Wyatt there. Yeah, I think he really came along too. This is
Um,
my thing. I'll spoil it now. My take. We can finish this exercise. I think Goody just hits a lot of doubles, and he strikes out sometimes. I'm not saying he's perfect,
yep,
but he doesn't really hit homers in the draft.
which
But
is
I
a
think it's
problem.
kind of okay. But it is. But I think it's kind of okay to hit a lot of doubles too.
I think it's fine to hit a lot of doubles until your team is nothing but doubles.
Well, then you go trade for Michael Parsons, and I
Sure,
go, okay, I manufactured a homer.
right. And so here, but then here's the rub tie.
Yep.
Trading for Micah Parsons is good. It's a good
Yeah.
thing to do. Now you're left with no first round pick
Yep.
for 2 years, and
Mhm.
in a place where you really need first round pick talent at either interior defensive line or cornerback.
Well, thankfully, he's not very good with the first round picks. So I think we're going to get more doubles regardless.
Right. And but that's also part of the issue is that like
Yeah.
the Lucas Van Ness pick is a bad pick. Like
Yes.
the the Jordan Morgan pick
Yeah. Don't know what he was thinking there.
is like
That's probably the worst. That's one of the worst ones on.
no, Lucas Van Ness is the worst one.
Van Ness is the worst because we all wanted JSN and we were all right.
Correct. Like don't get me started.
Yeah.
Um the like Jordan Morgan will probably be a starter next year. But the biggest
I forgot.
problem,
I forgot how late it was. It's probably fine because the guys after him don't really move you that much the rest of the round.
well, see, I put this in our Discord too because I was bored at work this week.
Lad at 34 is tough.
It's not even led at 34. I'm trying to find. I shared a screenshot of the people between Jordan
Is
Morgan.
Graham Barton good?
Yes,
Okay.
he was my offensive line pick.
Yeah.
So between Jordan
But
Morgan,
Guyton's pretty good too, right? Guyton's on here.
he's been okay.
He's okay.
So between Jordan Morgan and Edrin Cooper pick at 44,
Yeah.
uh, here are the players who I would have rather taken than Jordan Morgan.
Oh, the cornerbacks.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Imagine you drop Kamari Lassiter on this team.
Well, forget him. Imagine you
Imagine
drop
uh,
Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid McKinstry.
who Oh, I'm gonna get mad again. Who could have thought?
Yeah,
Who could have thunk Ty? Who would have had the bright idea to maybe draft Cooper DeJean in the first round as from a with a
yeah.
team that needed corner help?
And really, and this is my biggest flag with Goody. Like the way the cornerback room entered this past season is unacceptable for a team that traded
Correct.
for
Correct.
traded for
Micah
Michael
Parsons.
Parsons. Like you're
Correct.
clearly trying to win this year. You need to go find. You don't have to send a like find someone. You can always find someone.
So to finish out this exercise,
Yeah, sorry.
Nate Wiggins was drafted 30, so 5 picks later than Jordan Morgan.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
Johnny Newton, the interior defensive lineman for the Commanders, hasn't been fantastic, but he's been pretty darn good. He's got 7 sacks in 2 years and
Yeah.
40 tackles. Brandon Fisk has 11 and a half sacks for the Rams. Like he's just
Oh, Braden.
Braden, sorry. Uh, he's really good for them, opposite of Jared Verse.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, a literal All Pro this year. Kamari
Yep.
Lassiter, like one of the best lockdown corners in the league, and Max Melton, who is playing well in Arizona. Like, I mean, that's not mentioning Lad McConkey or or Graham Barton. Like there were just so
I mean,
many
yeah.
better picks after Jordan Morgan that that we identified on Talk of Tundra that others in the Packers drafting space identified. And for as long as the Packers are going to be a draft and develop team like they are, that's just what they do. Like they don't like they either choose not to or they can't identify ready now talent. It it really hinders your ceiling every year when your group of rookies coming into the season just aren't factors in your on your team. Adrian Cooper was the
Yeah.
first one in a long time that had a year one impact on
Well,
this
but
team.
Evan
And
Williams
even
did
then,
too.
sure, I
Evan
think
Williams is really good in year one.
correct, but not through identifying that. Like he got put into that role
Well,
through
yeah, but I mean,
like
it
halfway through.
still
Same
counts.
thing with
It still
Edgerrin Cooper. It
counts.
was halfway through the season before he got real snaps. Like people were
Well, yeah.
pounding the table for Edgerrin Cooper to play, and I can't fathom why they keep doing this. Like I'm very sick and tired of the offensive line strategy of being guys that can play every position well.
Yeah.
Instead, when you can draft a guy who can play one position, great. Like that's
The
like it bothers me that they do that and that's their offensive line drafting strategy because then you just hamper the height of your line.
And there's like a counter current to that in niche offensive line strategy discussions, like that idea of having the versatile line.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know now there's been pushback, and there's this idea that actually you'd be better off even if you sit a better player. Like let's say you have a really good backup tackle, you'd be better off like not using him and shifting the whole line around, like moving a tackle to guard or whatever else to cover an injury, you'd be better off putting a worse player in as a straight up backup
Yeah.
because then the chemistry of the rest of the line is not thrown off.
Right.
Right. So you'd rather have one bad lineman who you can cover for than like, okay, you played tackle the first 6 games. Now you're the right guard because that can throw things off worse and lead
Weird.
to more miscommunications.
And
Yeah.
look what happened this season when they took Elton Jenkins and put him at center.
Yeah.
Like
Not a good idea.
not a good idea. Like the line was patentably worse this year.
Yep.
And like they move uh Elton Jenkins to center. Like Zach Tom went from
And that's
right guard.
unheard of, by the way. I mean, you never
No,
see. You
ever.
just find a new
You
center
just
if your
find the new
center.
center. Like
Yeah.
spend the money on on a center than not on Aaron Banks. Like put Jordan
Especially
Morgan.
because it's just like he's too good of it's not an impactful position from
No,
actual blocking. It's impactful from what they call out and everything. But like from
right,
the actual blocking, they do the least.
right. And so like they moved Elton Jenkins from left guard to center.
Even though wasn't he like a right
No,
tackle to start? I mean, he's been
I forget.
everywhere.
I forget if he was left or right side. It's escaped me at the moment. But
But he
either
was a
way,
guard. I mean,
he was a
he's been
guard.
everywhere.
He was a guard.
Yeah.
Zach Tom gets moved to right tackle, and like they were like if they were talking of putting him at center, like you can't just keep the good
Yeah.
guys where they're good. Keep them where they're good. And
'Cause there
like
are like there's almost infinite like sub replacement level, but still NFL players out there like on practice. Like just go get a guy who's been a center. And if
Sure.
he's really, really bad, then maybe you have to try moving it. But like, yeah, I think because then you give up so much at your tackles if you're not playing those guys there, because that's
And
how you
even
get
even
the
then, if you have
everything going.
4 out of your 5 linemen that are playing very well, and
It's going to
say
be a good line overall.
it's gonna be a good line overall, and you can have help, like to
Yeah.
to, to help the guy that's struggling. You can
Yeah.
put it if
I
it's a
mean, it's very
tackle,
rare that you see like, oh, the center's so bad it's blowing up our line. Like, because
right,
if you have two good guards next to him, like, he's not just going to get bull rushed straight back every single time, right?
right.
Like,
And even then, like when EJ goes down, like Sean Ryan was a good enough center, right? But again,
yeah,
he played right guard.
yeah.
Like it's like it's just it pisses me off to no end that that's their offensive line strategy of the last few years. And so I'd
And that's
like
Goody too, because like, why
right,
can you not find a center?
right. And like I mean like there's plenty of centers that got drafted after bad picks that the Packers have made.
Yeah.
That's a long identified problem and like sore point amongst Packers fans.
It's going to be a big challenge this offseason, by the way. We don't have time to do a full preview, but like with their cap situation, because
Yeah.
we've seen now in the last couple of years, if your line sucks, if you just spend a bit of money, your line will be good again. The
Yeah. The
Bears are the
Bears.
best example. Like, oh, look, Joe Tooney. Now we have a good offensive line. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of simple, but they probably don't have the resources to do that. So they're going to have to get creative.
They don't. And so they're Rasheed Walker's gonna walk and they're gonna put Jordan Morgan at left tackle. And
Yep.
their backups haven't been like good. Like Anthony Belton exists, but where's Anthony Belton go? Do you put him at right guard when he majority played right tackle all throughout college? But because you can't, he's not usurping,
Combo,
he's not taking over Zach Tom.
4 games left tackle, 4 games left guard, 4 games center, 5 games right tackle. The
And so
plan.
like and like to get back to the point,
Yeah, yeah.
the draft and develop strategy hasn't worked out, and maybe Ty, just maybe it hasn't worked out because the guys that are developing them don't have outside NFL experience. Just
And I
maybe.
do think I actually think they need to revamp their scouting too, because as much as it probably frustrates like real football heads, the like online and public scouting community
Hmm.
is pretty good across sports at this point.
Yeah.
Like generally when a guy that everyone who does this loves falls, the guy ends up being a good value. And the Packers are literally never the team to take the guy.
Ever. That's what
Cooper
pissed
DeJean is a great example.
they
Like
yeah,
everybody knew, everybody knew, and he was right there, and they didn't do it. Same with JSN, although that was earlier in the
it
draft,
was
but
first
still,
round,
like
yeah.
but it was 13, right?
Right.
So it wasn't like end of the first, like where they took Jordan Morgan. But everybody
There's
knew, and they
the
just don't do it.
the NFL in general has put such a premium on the premium positions. Like they all like
Yeah,
everyone like that. There's a reason that there's always 3 or 4 edge rushers drafted in the first round. Like if you hit on one, you're really good. The Falcons just traded their future for James Pierce, a guy that
tough
probably
move.
that probably shouldn't have been had a future traded for. Like he's good.
They thought
He
they could do a Texans, and they could not.
they could not, and like he's fine. He got better as the year went along, but like that's a premium position that guy that teams want because if you can sack the quarterback, you're just your defense is going to be better. But it comes to a point where you can't put such a value on the premium positions when there are other parts of your defense that are in dire need of talent, and that's corner, and it's been
Yeah,
corner for 2 3 years. Like someone in the Discord had said like, "Oh my God, I forgot that uh Quentin Rollins and the other DB opposite of him were the cornerbacks in 2018." I said, brother, that's Keyshawn and Carrington right now. Like,
yeah,
that's how
oh
we're
yeah.
going to look back at this team.
It's a seventh rounder and a special teams guy. That's their
Correct.
starting cornerbacks.
And so,
And this one they tried and failed. I mean, Jair and Stokes both in the first 3 years apart. And Jair was a good pick, but the career just went the way it did with injury. So that's a tough one to grade them too harshly on.
it,
And Stokes was just clearly a miss.
well, he was good until he got hurt. He was one of the best corners in the league this year, Ty, for the Raiders.
There. So I guess it's the same issue. I can't tell you I've been grinding Raiders film.
No, I haven't been grinding it either, but I've seen like the stats, and he was pretty darn good this year. Like
No,
he was pretty darn good. Um,
I guess that's maybe he and Jair have the same problem then.
more or less. But like, yeah, Jair's injury just came later. But like, that's the Goody extension, to talk about it as like good or bad, is fine. I'm not gonna be mad that they extended him, because for all of the misses in the draft and the things that frustrate me on taking guys that need to be developed, he has hit, right. Like, he Jordan Love is a good pick. Jair was a good pick. Like, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden. These are good picks, right? Elton Jenkins, Zach Tom, like, Tucker Craft. He has good picks, right? The free agency signings, I could use some inspiration on. Like,
Yeah,
this past 2025 offseason was not good, but then you go back to 2024, he signs Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. He trades for Micah
yeah.
Parsons. Like, he has good moves.
I think he's done better at big name hunting than the Packers have in a really long time, and
Yeah,
that's just
prior
made a
to
huge
like Ted
difference.
Thompson just never did that, which,
Yeah,
like, is good. Like, that they actually
yeah.
go out and do these things as a team, and trade for impact players when they're needed, or sign them when they're needed. I just, if there's one thing I need from Brian Gutekunst, I just need him to draft another All Pro, and which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But, like, other teams do it, right?
Yeah.
And that, like,
I think
again,
they have
it's
guys who I think
very
could get there
reductive.
next year.
Sure,
I think they have guys who can get there next year.
it's very reductive, but, and I hate doing this because I know I'm not all that in a bag of chips, or my shit doesn't smell better than others. But since we've started doing this pod and looking at draft candidates, like, there are guys that not knowledgeable X's and O's
Oh
football
yeah.
guy, not like super data analytics guy, have identified
But
players that are good. Brian
like
Branch,
the
JSN,
online community has made it so this happens. Like this is the same in the NBA and the Bucks.
right?
Like when they took AJ Johnson, me and a bunch of other people were like, "That's really stupid."
Yeah,
Keyshawn George is right there. He's going to be a good player. Year two, he's a good player. And there's a bunch of Terrence Shannon, a bunch of people wanted him. Like
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you're actually worse than like
The
online
consensus,
draft,
the fans,
the consensus that is just out there that you could use too, like that's a big problem. You
right?
have to be better than them if you're going to eschew them. And the Packers clearly have not been.
And that's the
I know
issue.
this doesn't make him bad. Do you know the last quarterback Eric Stokes picked off? And I know this doesn't make him bad, and he's missed a lot of time, but
God.
it is funny.
I'm trying to think of a funny old guy.
Yeah, that you're on the right track.
Is it Matt Ryan?
It, Ben Roethlisberger.
Damn.
He had a pick in like his fifth ever game and has not gotten one since.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't make him bad. If anyone's like, that doesn't mean he's bad, but
Right.
it is funny.
So, yeah, that's just kind of where I land on Goody, is that he's a good general manager. I just need him to revamp his drafting philosophy to
I
draft
mean,
impact players, and, like, just listen. Not listening to fans is dumb. Don't do that. But, like,
no, but
revamp your
yeah, I mean,
draft
just don't
strategy to,
ignore.
like, don't ignore guys who can play.
Well, and I think too, like you just need to have you need to be stronger, and like we can't have the cornerback room be this week ever. Like we have to
Right.
do something. Like you
And
just
that's
if you whether you need to trade a pick or just sign a guy, like whatever it takes. Like it was too bad, and we all knew it was too bad. And they did cover it up. They had a great defense because of Michael Parsons. I get it, but still, like then when he's not on the field, it just became a huge liability.
yep. Yeah.
Here's why I wouldn't fire him or LaFleur. Right after they made the Parsons trade, pretty much everyone agreed they were, if not a favorite, like a clear Super Bowl team, a clear upper echelon contender. And it's not easy to do that. And since he's been here so long, he's pretty much put together the whole roster.
Yeah.
So it's like you can pick nits, but everyone I think agreed, and the fan base included, agreed like this is a team that can go win the Super Bowl. And they still made the playoffs with all the injuries. They obviously went out horrible, but like, okay, your coach and roster are pretty damn good if everyone agrees that.
Yeah.
So can you get better versus just blowing it up? I think it's right to not blow it up because again, flashback to whatever it was, September, whatever. We were all like, all right, man, that might just go win the Super Bowl. That's pretty sweet. And we
Yeah.
all bought into it. And they looked it in week whatever, 10 or whatever, before the Micah injury. So I do think like as frustrating as it's been, and as easy as it is to say 7 seed 3 years in a row and lost in the first round, which does suck. Ah, they were right there. They were right there, and we were all drinking the Kool-Aid, not McKinstry. Like, man, they might win the Super Bowl this year. They really can do it.
Yeah.
That does mean a lot to me, and I think that's being overlooked in these conversations.
I agree with the caveat that outside, if they didn't trade for Micah Parsons in that reality, that where they
Well,
don't
yeah,
do this, I don't know if this team makes the playoffs.
it's probably close.
I think it's this team.
They're
If this
worse with
team,
him, but better without him.
if they,
If
I mean, Kenny Clark is there, but
If Kenny's healthy, yeah.
he's not having the impact Micah Parsons is having.
No, no, no.
And
But I'm
if
saying
this
Micah didn't
team,
have any impact down the stretch,
right,
obviously.
but then they look a lot like those last 5 games, the whole season on
Yeah,
defense. Like there's no pass rush. The corners are
yeah.
getting eaten alive every game. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, folks. That does it for this episode of Talk the Tundra. Thank you, Ty, for coming and chatting about our front office
Yeah.
over here and on Talk the Tundra. You can check out Ty and Rohan on Eurostep as part of the GSPN network of pods. Um, like he said, he's happier to bounce over here for a week as
I'll be back. We'll see.
as the Buck season is. Uh, it's a good adjective for the Buck season. Tumultuous, I think is a good one.
Everything that you've used to describe the Packers' end of the road run can just be we can just copy paste
uh,
all the bad words.
the last episode of, or the second to last one, I would think of Eurostep, where Rohan welcomed all the Packers fans to the Buck season starting. He's like,
Yeah,
usually it's a lot better around here this time of year. It's like, you're right,
yeah,
pal. It's usually better.
yeah.
So, go check out Eurostep. If you want to join the Discord, gspn.info. In the About section, there's a link to there. We'll be back soon-ish. There's not a lot of news to be happening outside of probably a defensive coordinator hire in the next couple of weeks. Um, so that'll probably be the next time you hear from me and or Ty or Jordan. So either which way. Or maybe I'll get Andrew on, see if he wants to talk some football. Um, as new dad Jordan is spending all the
This
most.
team was competitive. Isn't that funny? Isn't it like their team? I think they're probably coming away from this like, hey, not bad. We were right there.
Stepping
And
stone.
Packers less so.
Packers less so.
I get it, but it is funny. Perspective.
Uh, news happening, and not big news, but news happening. That's something I talked about. Uh, O-line head coach Bill Callahan is joining the Falcons in Atlanta. So
Oh,
there goes that idea for the Packers. Either which way.
did
So
they wait? Did they hire a head coach?
Stefanski.
Oh, they hired to. Oh, wow. Oh, I really like those two hires for them.
Yeah,
Wow.
last night. I think that was late last night that got announced.
Nice. Good for them.
Um, to very briefly, a Stefanski McDaniels
Ooh.
offense would be
Did they get
this.
McDaniels?
No, I'm like
Or they're not, they haven't done that. Okay. Yeah,
my
yeah.
thought was hire a head coach and then have McDaniels coach the offense.
Yeah.
Like a,
Yeah.
could you imagine Mike McDaniels coaching Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts on offense? Like they got to find the
Does
quarterback, but
Stefanski calls plays though? Does
I
he?
he's a quarterback guru. He might call plays, but like imagine just
The
like
most
dropping
interesting one to me,
McDaniels like
yeah.
his
Well,
playbook into Stefanski's head.
how about Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, and Malik Neighbors with Harbaugh? I mean, that I
Maybe.
don't know if Harbaugh would be interested in that, but
Yeah,
I think that could be
that
gas.
could be some gas. As long as McDaniels doesn't go to the Lions, I am perfectly happy.
That's frightening.
That's
Yeah.
with Gibbs, JMO, and Laporta. Yeah, I'm
Did they
perfectly
fire the defensive guy too?
yes.
Or just the
I think
offense?
they hired that.
Dude, imagine, dude, if the Lions pull up with McDaniels Flores, we're cooked.
Why would you put that horror into my head?
I'm just saying.
I know, I
That's
know,
worrisome.
I know. All right, that's enough of this pod. Thank you all for listening. Ty, thank you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.